r/AskReddit. What tips would be in Ned's declassified college survival guide? Never fall behind. It will take ages to catch up and usually ends up in the scenario where you live in the library for a week and end up having a nervous breakdown during the exam. This is me now. This should be me now. I went to the library today to study for an exam tomorrow and browsed Reddit for 45 minutes and drove back home. I'm actually a ducking idiot. Geo to class. Even if you're ducking around on your laptop, at least be there. Whenever you have a couple hours of downtime, consider doing future homework/projects/essays. You wouldn't believe how much weight will be lifted off your shoulders when you know that you're ahead in classwork. I went to school with a guy who was pretty much always down to hang out and never worried about his classes. His secret, one day in the middle of the term when most of us were freaking out about a technical paper, he already completed it 2 weeks prior and was heading to the beach with a few girls he had met at the bar. Meanwhile we worriedly crammed out a hit paper. I would recommend people at least try to get things done early. You'll have more fun when you're out with friends rather than studying/writing with a hangover. To add to this, for those who like a night beverage, write drunk. Edit sober. You get less writer's block. The ideas and arguments flow out in a bunch of gibberish. But re-looking at it the next morning sober helps you grammatically connect those points. Got me through all Go lab papers. Be aware of your money, especially if you have school partially paid for by parents, scholarship, etc. Just be aware. For most people it is the first time you really have full control of your wallet, so don't duck that up. It's easier to be aware of money when you don't have any. But if you have that savings account set aside for college expenses, it's way too ducking easy to dip into it constantly. I recommend you need a budget for anyone in college, even if you don't use it to budget. By keeping track of what you spend and make, you can easily know whether you have money. The important thing, though, is to do it frequently. Treat your bank account as empty at PS 500. Save miles more than once. Sleep more than you study. Study more than you party. And party as much as you can. I saw that front page post too. If somebody puts a sock on their door, it's because they need help with their laundry. Barge in immediately. Bargain and yell, "Can I help? I brought my own bleach." Learn to bullhit and learn it well. You'll need that skill for about 95% of classes. You'll need that skill for about 95% of classes life. Sell your dorm as lacquer-front property. Step 11. Dabble in bankruptcy. Step 12. Get a reasonable job. Step 13. Set multiple alarms to make sure you wake up in time. Step 14. Try to get in touch with the right people. That'll surely help you get news concerning your work surroundings faster. If someone you know passes out from drinking too much, do not lay them on their back. Chance of them vomiting and then choking to death on it. If you are going to lay them down and leave them, consider strapping a backpack onto them that's full of textbooks or clothes or something that makes it impossible for them to roll themselves over onto their back. People die from this, and it's a really real thing that can happen when kids who haven't had much partying experience start binge drinking and passing out. Save a life. I never thought that I'd need this until I studied abroad and ended up taking care of a classmate who accidentally drank too much. I will never forget saying, "Let's put on our backpack now." Honestly, studying abroad should be renamed getting drunk all the time in foreign countries. You'll have more fun living off campus, provided you live in proximity to both the school and your friends. Spend at least a year on campus. You're 18. You've never lived on your own, and you need the extra support that residence halls provides. Honestly, for all the annoying rules your RA will impose, there is a safety net to make sure you're doing alright. You're also probably not going to know many people, and it's the best place to meet people. Hands down. Living off campus, you're on your own. No one is going to help you with anything. Your landlord probably doesn't give a hit about you. And it's harder to meet people. Once you've got friends and think you've got the hang of it, go off campus. But don't rush into it. Hence my disclaimer. I'm 19. Living basically alone a half hour from campus. And I don't know what the duck I'm doing with my life. Try to make friends with students a year above you in your program. Ask them for last year's test/midterms/assignments. They're often recycled. I didn't feel like writing new test questions, so my class's midterm next week is last year's midterm in a new order. The final will almost definitely be the exact same thing. Writing questions is hard. And why throw out good ones just because they were good last year? Hopefully none of my students are listening. But honestly, if they are, and they find the midterm, and they learn the questions, and then they learn the answers, they learned the content in the class. So duck it, they'd deserve to do well in the course. I'm not even sure it'd be cheating. My lecturers literally just give us the exam questions. It's an essay-based subject and their logic is they'd rather be testing our analysis of 2 topics than our memory of 10. Don't wear your ducking varsity jacket. But try though. Become friends with teachers who teach in your program. I graduated last May and I'm in the field I think want to be in for the rest of my life. And working at a couple good places for it too. All because I became close with my teachers and they gave me recommendations/told their friends about me. If a teacher says they are going out for drinks after class, jeer with them. It's not about sucking up. It's about viewing them as a human and them viewing you as the same and making connections. One of my friends told me his creative writing prof takes his students out for drinks, provided they are of age, at the end of the semester. I never got to take that professor, but I thought it was nice of him to do that. I also had another professor who came with us to an honor society conference, and she paid for our dinner at a pub one night. We paid for our own drinks and we were all of age. Of course. Our school nearly screwed us out of being able to stay because of stupid red tape and drama. She also got to see me tipsy/slightly drunk, and she seemed amused by it. I was very grateful that she did that for us, because we nearly had to leave the convention. Search textbook name, PDF. Pray it isn't written in Lithuanian. Blasphemy. All hail Google Translate. If a person sits in the same seat for a week, it's their ducking seat. Seriously. Go sit somewhere else. You take that person's seat. And you're the asshole. Edit, a word. Dude, I have a 3-hour math class with the hittiest chairs possible. Mine is against a pillar and a window wall. Ducking Cadillac of seats. Almost a game to get it. I guess there are different circumstances. Speaking as a science major pre-med at a large university. 1. Don't fret if your college life doesn't look like the movies or someone else's Instagram photos. Just do what you like and what you think is right. And duck all that noise. I don't mean to tell you to live a boring life. But what is fun differs from person to person. If you think driving to the beach, riding a few waves, and catching some clams is fun, just do it. If you think a nice afternoon playing ball and then having a few beers is better than blacked out at some hyped up frat party, just do it. 2. When someone tells you your grades don't matter, that should raise a bloody red flag and you should really verify whatever advice they give you. There's a difference between grades aren't everything and grades don't matter. 3. Unless it's genuinely regarding your own mental health. When someone tries to get you to care less, duck that. That should also raise a red flag. Why do you or your parents pay so much money to go to college? A piece of paper. Good numbers. Networking. Experience. And a chance to grow as a person. If your parents pay, how are you going to repay them not only for college, but for putting up with your dumbass? If other people are paying thousands to play the game of mirror mirror on the wall who is the most chill of them all, let them, but don't join them, because it'll only cut down the amount of ass you have to kick. 4. Although college is difficult, it isn't impossible at all to do well. I've seen so many students aim to be average because people tell them about how hard college is, or how they don't think they're smart enough to get good grades, or how they got destroyed by their first exam, etc. In other words, the reason some people don't do well in organic chemical isn't because organic chemical is hard, it is, but because they mentally set themselves up for averageness. Go in your class scared, but also go in knowing that it is very possible to do well. Aim high. Don't give up. Innate intelligence plays a role, but your willingness to put in the painful effort matters just as much. 5. Don't expect the curve to save you. But know it's there. The curve mainly helps you pass, not necessarily help you earn a good grade. 6. The university doesn't always want the best for you. Especially if you go to a large public university. The policies or the advice they give is optimized for the average student, which may or may not be you. For example, if you want to be a doctor, your major advisor will likely not give a hit because their job is to get you to graduate in 4-5 years with whatever GPA that gets you out. What you do after you walk the stage and whether you go to med school or not does not directly affect their salary or job security. 7. You should never strive or settle to be the average student. You're special in some way, so know it, do it, and show it. If you strive to make 50k a year, you'll put in effort to make 50k a year. Life hits you, and you'll likely make less. If you strive to make 200k a year, you'll put in effort and the right steps to make 200k a year. Life hits you, and you'll likely make about 50k a year. 8. Be a kind person. But remember, you're not obligated to help any other student but yourself. You can't end world hunger if you are the one starving. 9. Past exams are wonderful. Find some. Some professors may say it's taboo. Some will say unauthorized ones are illegal. Some will hand them to you. Just find some, because you can bet many others have them. 10. It's a bureaucracy. Everyone you meet has a boss and their boss has a boss. You don't want to just be a number? Just another student in the crowd? Well, give them a reason to listen. 11. Repeat of 3, give a duck. 12. Internships. The less people that have that type of position equals the worse or better it is. Both being subjective terms. Either no one wants it, or it is very selective or unique, which will make your application stand out. 13. Only join a frat if you are interested. Not because they have these mysterious and magical connections. Not because they have old exams. Not because they get laid easily. Not because you like to march to places in a crowd of 30 guys with smug faces. It's hard work joining and staying in one. And whatever benefit you're hoping to reap, you can take your time, money, and effort elsewhere for a likely better deal. However, if you think you want to join a frat beyond some sort of benefit, then it's all you. Edit. 14. Take every opportunity as a learning opportunity. You can always grow to be a better person today than you were yesterday. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from others' mistakes. Learn from your successes, etc. In regards to the last point, I think that the friendship and connections frats offer can also be found in school clubs. Not to bash on frats though. The ones on campus here are all pretty cool. It's easier to stay in shape than to get in shape later in life. Wish I knew this during middle school. Ducking like and subscribe.